appreciate it. So again, this is a program presented by Entrepreneurs Forever. It's called Forever Forward, and today's topic is who is my ideal client? Here's what we're going to try to get done in the hour 10. Do a few introductions, who we are. I'll do the presentation. We'll do some recap and sharing. And then we are going to add some breakouts. If you want to stay and be in them, you are welcome to. And if you don't have to. And there's M, who's the star of one of our videos. M, did you see your video? You were great.
I did. Thank you. That was awesome.
All right. We'll explain that in a minute. So I'm going to call on people just as I see them on my screen. If you could just tell us your name, your business, and your location, and how you found your way here today. So Joanne, you're first up on my list. So tell us who you are.
Sure. My name is John-Ann Massard. I am the owner of Creative Cosmetics, doing business as Pigmenta. We are a permanent cosmetic company and medically grade scar camouflage. I'm located now in Mashpee, Massachusetts, and I have been invited to join.
That's right. Joanne is one of the new members of our Cape Cod group, which we'll be meeting for the first time next week. So welcome.
Yes.
All right, Sabrina Nash, if you're in a place that you can unmute, cameras are great.
Yes, I finally parked. So now I'm still. Hi, I'm Sabrina. I am the owner of Sweet Brown Girl Adventures. Started as a blog, but now I host chartered bus tours to estate wineries. Sometimes I include breweries, cideries, and meaderies, and I also host wine tastings. And I am based out of Pittsburgh, even though our tours are not limited to Pittsburgh.
Are there wineries around Pittsburgh?
So Pennsylvania, ironically enough, is the 6th largest state of wine production. Erie, Pennsylvania, where Welch's Grape is headquartered, is responsible for juice going around the world. And so we probably are the largest, our largest production is probably sweet wine or an ice wine. And so it's lots just in my immediate area are probably 35. And then if I include all of Pennsylvania, there's probably over 100.
Well, we all learned something new this morning. Thank you, Sabrina.
Oh, and Ohio is 7th, and they're next door.
All right.
Did you say me?
Yep.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm an illustrator and children's book author. And Mvaro Designs, I'm actually in the process of rebranding a little bit to focus less on me as the artist and more on the characters that I draw. But I am located in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, so kind of right over the state line from Providence, Rhode Island. And I got the email about this from eForever. And I've been a part of eForever for a couple of years now. So I was very excited to focus a little bit more on target audience.
Great. James Stokes.
Yes, I recommend the Wilhelm Winery for their elderberry wine too. Really good. James Stokes, On3 LLC. We are a staffing and recruiting company, and recently we're looking to do technology products for small to medium businesses. We're actually looking at vamping up a Drupal commerce site for a big person. So I almost jumped to my ideal client. I don't even know it yet.
Well, then that's very timely. Thanks for joining us. Casey Kilroy.
Hi, good morning. My name is Casey Kilroy. I am the owner and creator at the Pittsburgh Wash Company. Wash in Pittsburghese simply means wash. People in Pittsburgh talk kind of funny. So I've leaned into that, and all of my products are Pittsburgh themed. So I have obviously a huge client base of people who either used to live in Pittsburgh now, or just want to send a gift from Pittsburgh. So it's all handcrafted, small batch Bath and Body products. And
love
I thank you.
I love
I
that,
found
yeah.
this through another entrepreneur who just got brought on staff. But we started talking about collaborating with, you know, some of my products and what she does, and so she told me about this, and I just joined sort of an intro session a couple days ago. So I'm excited to be here and get started.
That's fantastic. Welcome,
Thank you.
Cindy Berselli.
Good morning. I'm Cindy Berselli from Pittsburgh. I'm a painter. I have a company, Cindy Berselli Fine Art. I focus on animals and wildlife, do a lot of dog portraits and animal paintings, some people paintings, but whatever comes my way. So I'm trying to refocus and see which direction I really want to put my energy into.
Well, that's a great thing to be doing today with us. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And Yasmin, it looks like you're in a car somewhere between Pennsylvania and New Jersey with the Spice Sisters. Tell us about you.
Yes, hi there. My name is Yasmin Hassan. I have a business called Spice Sisters. We are located in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and I found Entrepreneurs Forever through, there was an Allegheny Marketplace event, and then we signed up on the link that was provided there. That's how I found out about it.
Great. Steph.
Hey, good morning. My name is Steph, and I am the owner of two businesses. One is a business that is under my name and is to hold my art. I'm a multimedia artist. And then the other business is Mindfully Creative, and it is a creative consulting agency. And that really is the business that I'm trying to focus on right now. I am in Charleston, South Carolina, and I found my way here today because someone from New Jersey told me about this organization, these resources. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll check it out. And it sounds like most of the people here are from Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh specifically. So that's how I randomly find my way here.
But you know, Steph, we're expanding into South Carolina like within the next few months. So you are ahead of the curve.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Nice to meet everybody.
That's great. Suzanne?
Hi, my name is Suzanne Evelsizer. I'm also from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I own a bookkeeping company, JAS Bookkeeping. And I actually have been following Entrepreneurs Forever for a while. I think I got the information from an email. But yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Great, we're glad to have you. Carol Swift, thanks for turning your camera on. Nope, you're muted. There you go.
Yes. Oh dear. Yes. I'm sorry.
Just your name and your business.
I have an interior design business, Swift Morris Interiors, in Newport, Rhode Island, and I'm not very good with Zoom, so I'm so pleased I finally connected, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you so much. Ellie Harward.
Turning on my video, Deborah.
Thank you.
So my name's Ellie Harward. My business is Derive Home. I'm located in Pittsburgh, PA, and I found my way here through our lovely facilitator who said I desperately need this program.
So Ellie just started working with us in our program team, but she also has her own business. So when she started telling us about her business, like, Ellie, you need to start coming to our program. So here she is. Thank you so much for coming, all of you. I really appreciate you. If some of you aren't aware of what our program is, I'm just going to do a quick overview. I think many of you, if most of you are members, our mission is to empower all small business owners to grow their businesses, to sustain their families, and support their communities. If you're not already a member or haven't come to one of our discovery sessions, they're available for you, and we will resend the link if you need it. And because I always forget at the end, I'm going to do it at the beginning, which is the next two upcoming learning experiences. So the one on the left, deep dive, is next Monday afternoon. If you run a website for your business and you use that new Google Analytics called a GA4 dashboard, and you don't know what it does, you're with everybody else. And we're bringing in a Grow with Google expert to explain how to understand the metrics on your website and figure out which ones matter in terms of what traffic is coming, how they found you, the search words, what's working and what's not working for you in your Google Analytics dashboard. Should be viewing for everyone. And next month, the Forever Forward, which is the program you're at today, is going to be on finding my ideal client. So today is part 1. Who is my ideal client? Next month, how do I find more of them? So this is a twofer. If you come to one and not the other, the world will not end, but it's really valuable if you can do both of them. Now, here's Deborah's disclaimer. This presentation does not take the place of professional advice from your own paid advisors. The whole philosophy of Entrepreneurs Forever is to give you sort of seeds of learning and let you take them and run with them. So if this is way too much, hire a professional coach, hire a marketer, but usually our members they can take the sort of seeds of what we give them and figure out where to go with it. And that's hopefully what we're going to have happen for you today. So without further ado, who is my ideal client? Let me just introduce myself briefly. I'm Deborah Gallant, the Senior Program Manager at Entrepreneurs Forever, and I like to say I'm the jack of all trades. I do lots of different things, including facilitating 2 of our groups. I run these special programs. I create videos. I do all kinds of stuff here, but I have been a business coach for about 20 years. And one of the things that I consistently found is that lots of people like to just say, I sell whatever it is I sell. And yeah, you sell whatever you sell, but if you can get really specific about who the absolute best client is for you, you can focus everything that you do. One of my favorite sample stories on this is, I remember doing a talk for a group of psychotherapists, social workers, people who are in the mental health profession. And when we went around and did our introductions, one of them said, I help people with garden variety mental health problems. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a sleepless night, but when you wake up in the morning, you don't think, I'm going to find a therapist who specializes in garden variety mental health problems. What your problem is and what your unique problem is, and whatever issues, is it a trauma? Is it a mommy issue? Is it my kids don't talk to me? That's very specific. So the therapist might think it's a garden variety issue, but you don't think it's a garden variety issue. So getting in the head of the person who you most effectively can help changes everything about how you approach and market your business. So a lot of our members have grown their business to the point that they're at through personal and professional referrals. But to be able to grow, you need to go beyond the circles of people that you already know. And to be able to do that, you need to have this idea of who's your best client. Now, go back to that garden variety. You can take every client who calls you, whatever it is. I don't know, whatever it is that they want to buy from you. You can sell it to them. But a target market is somebody who is exactly ideal, the person who totally gets what you do and wants to pay for it. And we're going to go through what an ideal client is here. Cindy, yours actually gave me the absolute best idea, which is there are people who are pet owners who are completely and utterly price insensitive. You could paint anything. But if you could have a waiting list of people waiting to pay you $1,500, I don't know what you really charge for it, for a custom pet portrait that they're going to put over their mantle, that would be a very nice business. Now, you can still take the other commissions, you can do the other paintings, but focusing on those people who are already rabid pet owners who have the money are going to make a very profitable business for you. So here's some of the things that characterize an ideal client. They pay full price. I don't know if anyone in this room, in this virtual room, has ever had a client who started bickering with you about the price before they even got to the point where they wanted to say yes, but I promise you that is not an ideal client. As a consultant and coach, you know, when they go, oh, that's too much, will you barter part of it? Or how about a price if I prepay? It's whatever. If they don't value what you do enough to pay your price, they are not your ideal client. They buy more than once, if that's appropriate. I mean, maybe, well, if they're a dog owner, they probably have multiple dogs, or they can buy a gift for their nephew who has a dog, right? So they can come back if they liked what they bought. They stay with you for a while, if that's appropriate. They value what you do. And they refer others, right? These are the unpaid evangelists. These are the phone calls you get saying, oh, Ellie told me to call you. Oh, if Ellie told me to call you, then you're going to close them on the first round. Now, you can sell to anyone, but these folks, so Jonann's doing permanent makeup. If someone has seen someone who had her permanent makeup and complimented them, and that person tells everyone at their backyard barbecue about it, she's going to have a booming business because those people are her ideal clients, right? There's no sales process involved. It's like, I saw what you did with Joanne's eyebrows. I want that too. That's who you want to look for. Here's the thing. I know the reality of having to pay the bills with a small business means whoever calls, you're taking their business, if it works. But I want you to be proactive going into this saying, who do I really want to sell to? So when you figured that out, every marketing decision is driven by that underlying knowledge of your ideal client. James, can you tell us a little bit about the new business that you want to establish? Maybe we'll use you to workshop this.
Yeah, looking to almost outsource the technology pieces for small to medium businesses so they don't have to worry about it and they can focus on their core competency. So if they have an e-commerce site or anything like that, I just went through SEO training and I highly recommend this. Do a Google search for BizHack, BIZHACK. They have an AI masterclass going on, and they're going to keep it going. It's sponsored by Miami-Dade County, and they just taught you. And their next thing is Google Analytics. So I love that you're doing it because I'll get 2 iterations of it.
Good.
And but even before you do Google Analytics, there's a lot to think about with SEO most people don't know about. And it's huge.
So I'm going to just make something up here. I also just sent you all the worksheet, which we'll get to in a moment, but at least you have it. So James, if Entrepreneurs Forever hired you to be our technology back office, you would make sure that all of our computers had antivirus, that they all, were up to date, that you would handle all. Is that the kind of thing you're talking about?
I'm talking about, yes, we can do that, but I'm talking more about creating of what you have out there on your technical systems. How are you pitching your information? How are you attracting your most ideal client?
So you're talking about doing technology marketing services.
Well, apps, marketing, whatever you need, even if it's in a manufacturing and optimizing and, implementing an ERP system, anything like that. Focusing a lot on utilizing AI and robotics.
Interesting. All right. So what I would suggest is that as you're thinking about that, to get as narrow as you can because boy, that's a big, big space, is to get as specific as you can with who you're helping with what things. So is it nonprofits with use of AI? Is it because the more specific you can get, the more effective all of your marketing will be. So Yasmin and Spice Sisters, I know, make these spice blends and these yummy sauces. So if we think about who's going to buy from them, yes, anybody walking by them in a farmer's market or sees them on a shelf, but it's probably foodies who like spicy and unusual food, maybe have an Asian bent to them. Maybe they're plant-based or vegan because that's one of their selling points. Thinking through the specifics. Now, it doesn't mean you can't sell it to anybody, but you want to know who that very best potential client is. Is this sort of registering with people? Just give me thumbs up or nod. Thank you. I love Em. I can see her and she nods a lot. I love nodders. Thank you. Okay, so the worksheet that I gave you, and if you can print it out or it's a fillable form, you can use it that way, or if not, we'll just talk you through it. I want everyone to take a few moments and think about who the ideal client for what you do is. So Ellie, I know you do like etching on mirrors, right? Is that what you do?
Yes, I do that, and I do event design, etching on mirrors,
All
event
right,
runway.
let's just focus on etching on mirrors, right?
Okay.
I won't know how to etch on a mirror. Who buys etching on mirrors?
Anybody looking to preserve a memory, and anybody looking that they want to have something unique and different as their signage at an event. That's
All right, so
typically
let's go back
an etchment.
to really who would etch on a mirror? A bride?
Yep.
Okay, so
Definitely.
let's just say brides or people buying for brides or event planners, wedding event planners. You want to get narrow. You can still sell it to somebody for an anniversary. You can still sell it for a bat mitzvah. But if the bridal thing is the best and easiest and the people who really value what you do, then well, they're single becoming married. Their age is what age are people fussing about weddings? 25 to 35. And by the way, income, they have to have, these are not people who are getting married in City Hall, right? So they or their mothers and fathers have a certain amount of money that they're willing to put into the wedding. Where do they live? Well, probably within driving distance of Pittsburgh, since you etch those mirrors in Pittsburgh, right? I don't want you to send them to me in California.
Me either.
And then thinking through, what are they reading? Brides magazines? Are they on the Knot? Are they going to bridal fairs? Things like that. So your worksheet is a fillable PDF. And what I'm asking you to do is start to think through, and we're going to actually like take 5 minutes and turn off our cameras and work on this. I know those of you in cars are going, shoot, I wish I'd known this. I would have gotten a printer, but I'll leave this up for you. But you want to actually think through what it is for them to work with you. So we'll go through some of this. I love naming this person. So in Ellie's case, I don't know, Bella the bride. For Cindy's person, it's Penelope the pet owner, or Daphne dog, or for Em, I don't know what it is, Mama Mary, because it's probably the mommy who's making the decision about buying something that's an M book, right? But understanding the problem that you're solving for them and then encapsulating it for that person. And I would love it if you are technically able, and I know Em's going to probably draw this, but the rest of you go online and see if you can find a Google image that's a picture of Daphne dog or Mama Maria or Bridal Bella, whatever it is. For Yasmin, I don't know, Veggie Vera, foodie brand, whatever it is. Because the thing is that I did this in an in-group thing where we took magazines and you had to find the picture and put it in front of you. When you focus all your efforts on how do I find more Veggie Veras, everything becomes so much clearer. So I want you all, I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to put it up because I know some of you don't have the worksheet. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to turn the camera off for, I don't know, about 5 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to share 7 minutes. You need a little more? Find the picture because I want you to share the pictures on your screen when we come back. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Tell us about your ideal client. Remind everyone what your business is and then tell us about your ideal client.
Okay. So I'm an illustrator and children's book author, and we have toys and stuff that go with that. So my business is currently Mvaro Designs. And so I said my ideal client, she is female. I said she's 36. She's a mom of two, married, lives in the suburbs. I tend to have more success in the suburbs than I do in the cities. I'm not sure why.
Didn't you give her a
Uh,
cool name?
I called her Achiever Amanda.
Okay.
I don't know, like, because she's a mom and she wants to do all things and like juggle all the things and she's motivated. So I said
What's
her
the burning problem that you're solving for Achiever Amanda?
I wrote down I said, and it's very not great, but I said feeling overwhelmed and motivating her kids.
So I wonder, all right, here's the thing. We're going to sort of mimic a peer group here. We're all in a nice, happy place. I would love to hear what the rest of you think, but I bet one of the differentiating factors about Achiever Amanda as a mom is she is an anti-Barbie mom. She doesn't want her kids to have the same toys as everyone else. She wants to be unique. She wants to be different. At a play group, she wants to have people see who her. Oh, Yasmin, we'll share in a minute. Don't share right now. Unshare. Let me unshare her. I don't know why that came up. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're good. All right. So I wonder if you've missed a little bit there. You want the uniqueness because your stuff is playful and fun and different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you were writing a tagline, you would want to make sure you appealed specifically to those things that Amanda cares about, right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Anybody else have any thoughts they want to share with Em on this? All right. Em?
One other question. I mean, do you try to promote self-esteem or anything for young children with these books?
Yeah. Yeah, like you're enough as you are kind of a thing happens is in the stories as well. Yeah.
So how do you build that into something that's an important value for your purchaser?
That's why I'm here, because I don't have the answer.
Well, and I'm not sure
struggling
it's
with this.
I'm not sure it's about Amanda being an achiever, but it's Amanda being a very conscious mom. It's like because she wants to raise a whole kid with a great self-esteem and she doesn't want them to feel like they're cookie cutter kids. So
Yeah.
really, it's not so much about Amanda's achieving in her own life, but it's about what she cares about for her kids and that she makes buying expensive, unusual things for her kids a priority because it matters to her.
Mm-hmm.
The word that comes to my mind is empower your children.
Yeah. Thank you. This is easier to hear from other people than to come up with it myself. So thank you.
All right.
Thank you so
Casey
much.
Kilroy, what did you learn? Who's your ideal client? Remind us your business again.
Sure. So I am the Pittsburgh Warsh Company, and I create small batch handcrafted bath and body products, all with a Pittsburgh theme name. My ideal client is a mom. I call her Mama Millie, female or female identifying, around age 35. They're married. They have 2 children. They're located in Pittsburgh, or they have a deep connection to Pittsburgh, whether they grew up here and moved away, or they've vacationed here every year with their family, or they identify as being a Pittsburgher currently. The income I have around 70K, 70,000. I think that handcrafted, one-of-a-kind soaps tends to be a luxury item. So people that that can afford to spend $10 to $12 on a bar of soap have a little bit more money to spend. Let's see. They're making decisions for themselves. They are the gift buyers for the family.
Do you think this is mainly a gift product?
I do. Yeah, that's what I found. I would say I've only been in business for 4 years. but I have found that about, well, it's definitely over half. So I'd say 60 to 75% of my sales are people purchasing for others. So I
in
am,
fact, your ideal client isn't necessarily the end user of your product, but the person who's buying for those people. And I wonder, please don't let me monopolize this conversation. This is for all of you, is that what's really the key here is the Pittsburgh connection, is
Yeah.
the Pittsburgh Patty, because she wants to get something that's nostalgic for or reminiscent of this childhood and connection to Pittsburgh. That's almost more important than the what you sell.
yes, I would think so. The Pittsburgh, and that's sort of been my crux all along because, and I'm sorry I missed where you said your location is, but in Pittsburgh, there's a lot of bath and body manufacturers. So I'm in a very saturated market. When I decided to jump in, I knew that I would have to position myself in a unique way in order to create clientele and have a viable business. And being a fourth generation Pittsburgher myself, I don't know, I sort of fell into this theme. And so, and it's worked for me so far. So
James, you're the one who just took the SEO class. What should she be targeting in terms of people who are doing an online search for a Pittsburgh themed bed and bath product?
I guess my first question is that truly your unique identifier? What makes your soap special?
People buy it because of the name of my product. So
So
I
they
make a
don't care
Peruvian,
what it's
yeah.
composed of, that it helps my skin exfoliate or nothing like that. It just says Pittsburgh, and that's cool.
Yeah, I would say I do have a small group of people that will buy for those reasons, but most of the time people will buy soap for what it looks like or what the name is, and they don't care, you know, anything else beyond that. I make those decisions because they're important to me. I wrap, for example, in biodegradable plastic because that's an important decision to me. But nobody ever asks me about that or says, the reason why I use soap, hard bar of soap is because I'm not using plastic. There are other people here in Pittsburgh that make handcrafted soap, and that's who their clientele is. So
just thinking, I mean, in the 70s, we lost half our population to the rest of the nation. So from an SEO perspective, Steelers, Pittsburghs are your keywords, anything to do with Pittsburgh, right? Any unique Pittsburgh word, especially Warsh or, anything, any Pittsburghese out there, I would put in my keywords. I feel, your clientele are people here from Pittsburgh to buy gifts from people who left Pittsburgh, especially, I don't know if you can make an infant soap either, but I know when someone has a kid that is not from Pittsburgh, I try to send them Pittsburgh stuff, so I look at it as you have the nation is your marketplace. Truly, your best customers may be the people that don't live in Pittsburgh, but want that piece of Pittsburgh just so they can feel connected. That's what comes off the top of my head.
Anybody else have any thoughts about Casey's Pittsburgh branding and how to make sure that she's strong there?
This is Sabrina. James, to his point, I think about the store 412. And all it is just our area code. But I have been a number of places where people buy that, they give it as gifts. And so even putting in the area code, but all of those unique identifiers to Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh, like everywhere I go, I try to find a Steeler bar, and there is one.
Yeah.
And so capitalizing on even putting not just the Steelers, but the Penguins, the Pirates, just all those things that we are so Heinz. Because if people are looking those type of things up, they're also interested in things uniquely Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think you could really focus on that. All right, we're going to try to get through everybody by 9:30, 9:40. So Casey, I love the ideas. I hope that you got some value out of that. James, we're on to you. What did you come up with for an ideal client?
I called them don't want to worry about my IT. I'm gender neutral. I put ages 18 to 77 because it could be a startup. It could be someone, later in their career. I put other for single, married. It doesn't matter to me. The children location doesn't matter.
The
Income
things that
level.
might be more relevant are whether they're for profit, not for profit, how big the business is, how many employees they have. That might be a different way for you to think about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm agnostic for profit or non-for-profit either. I did think, most entrepreneurs I know for their leisure activities, they want to spend it with their family. I put under business who I target as CEOs, owners, COOs, presidents, IT directors. Their number one problem is I feel they don't know how to optimize their IT cost effective. And then other notes I put is they don't know who to trust. They've been taken advantage of before. I get that all the time. Oh, I did that before and it was bad. I go, does that mean when you go to a restaurant and have a bad meal, you don't eat in any other restaurants? I don't understand your logic here. So, that's one of my biggest objections I've been running into. So I've been burnt by this before.
So, James, I'd be happy to talk offline with you, but my suggestion here would be to figure out the size of a company that's too small to have a CTO or an IT director, but is big enough to have this as a problem and have some budget to pay for it. And it's not 18 to 77. It's, somewhere between probably 30 to 60, maybe even 65, somebody who's older and knows that they know how to run their business, but the technology is scaring the shit out of them. Oops, sorry. And that person is willing to write a check for that peace of mind, because that's really the person who can say yes to you. It's not everybody. It's not a garden variety IT problem. It's somebody who has a certain size business with a budget and an understanding that the risks of not doing this right could be disastrous.
I would expand upon that because there are a lot of young kids in startups that are getting funded.
But they think they know more than you do.
And I'm fine with that. As long as the check clears the bank, I'm okay. Also, for everyone out there, I put a link into that BizHack Masterclasses. If you even sign up now, this is like a four-part series for this one. You can go back and watch the first two that walks you through identifying your keywords, and it tells you how to do it using ChatGPT and Gemini, and it's really powerful.
Thank you. I'll share that with everyone as well. Thank you.
I recommend signing up and going through it. But
thanks, Cindy Briselli. Did I pigeonhole you too much with the dog thing?
No, but I'm sorry. I spent most of my time trying to figure out what the heck I was doing. So I just quickly put this together. I thought the name is Love My Dog. It can be male or female, age 25 to 100, single, married, or other, possibly with children. Their location could be anywhere. Income probably 75,000 and up. Leisure time activities, probably dog parks, grooming places, vet offices, walking trails. The decision to purchase is personal. And I found some great photos. I cannot get them to paste in there. I got them on my desktop, but of people holding their dogs and people, and then I had captions like grandbaby and family member and love your dog and, things like that. And so the siblings, you have a dog and a cat photo.
Does that help you focus a little bit on what it is that you could do to bring those people in?
It does. And if you have any other suggestions, I'm very open to it. So
well, you'll come back next month and we go how to find a steady stream of ideal clients, and we'll share that. But this is really part one. If you don't know who you're looking for, then how on earth would you target finding them, right?
Right.
All right, Suzanne, are you in a place you can share?
Yeah, I just can't put a picture up or anything
That's
like
okay.
that. Yeah, for me, this is really hard. Talking business to business, finding an ideal client. I don't know why it's so hard for me to figure out
Remind us your
how to,
business.
it's bookkeeping.
Okay.
So usually, I'm gonna say that as far as like it doesn't matter the gender for me. Usually my ideal client, they're a little bit older, so like between 30s and 50s. Doesn't matter whether single or married at this point, but usually when I'm thinking about business clients, I'm thinking that they are more solopreneurs. Usually their revenue is between 200 to $800,000, and they want to be educated in their business because I'm very big on educating people about their finances. And what they're usually the number one burning problem that they have is that they maybe have had some sort of math trauma. They don't like looking at their finances. It's confusing, something like that.
Suzanne, I actually think you have a perfect sample group here of the other 15 entrepreneurs. I bet there's a turning point where people go, I can't or I won't do this myself anymore. Is there an event that happens? All of you want to unmute and say, when do you stop doing your own books?
Yeah, that would be perfect to know.
When I got married, had kids and a business, it was too much.
It
was one
just
thing to do when
more
I was
thing you didn't
single.
want to do.
After I got married, I was like, no, I can't do the business and my own taxes and my husband's. So yes, when I was single, I did it myself.
Who else?
As soon as you can afford it, it allows you to focus your time on your core competency and making more money that should double or triple pay for what the accountant time takes away.
I
think
stopped
when
doing
I
mine
realized
when
that
Joanne, you go first.
I stopped doing mine when I got divorced. My husband used to do mine.
So it's another
So-
family thing. Okay, Steph, how about you?
when I realized that even paying for this service would like not just save me time, but save me stress. Because the amount of stress that I can put myself under, like I can actually feel it. Like I would get sick and, things like that would happen when I was like dealing with like tax time, and it's still happening. So that's really when I made the decision. And I just kind of wanted to share that because I feel like often we think of value very like one way-ish, which is just like money, but really like value is so diverse. And really knowing what you value, and I value not feeling stress a lot and help you be, I don't know, like be more creative with that decision.
Ellie, you unmuted?
Yes. Well, I have got an accountant long before I started making money. So it was because I can't stand going through my finances. So I find a lot of value in having somebody that can sort through that. But it is an activity that I've been asked to
Avoiding.
do.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about this before. Carol, you unmuted. Was there a point for you?
I've had my accountant do my books for a long time, so I can't remember ever doing it myself. It's too complicated in interior design because each client is spending a lot of money, and I felt very responsible. If they were giving me checks, I better do the right thing. So my accountant has always been over my shoulder.
All right, Suzanne, hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight, and we will talk some more about this next month when we get how to find a steady stream. But understanding that problem and what gets them to pick the phone up is really critical. Steph, do you want to share a little bit about your ideal client?
Yeah, sure. So I guess really, I put a link on the chat just because I'm on a mobile device, so sharing my screen would be really hard. But instead of finding an image, I found that video, and it's that Steve Jobs like Apple commercial who starts saying like, oh, this is for the crazy ones, the whatever. So that was the first thing that came to mind when I started doing this exercise. I think like often it can feel very like daunting to think about this stuff for me, but for some reason this morning it just clicked with that video. So I think that would really be how I would describe my target person.
So this is somebody who wants to think outside the box, to think different.
Yeah.
And you're the consultant coach who helps them break through.
Yes.
Interesting. How do you know that's a problem? In the same way that Suzanne's clients know that they've outgrown doing it themselves, how does somebody know they need, or is there a presenting problem they're stuck on something?
Yeah, I feel like very often I hear people say like, oh, I have a creative block, and I'm not saying that I don't believe in that, but I think because of the way I am able to relate to creativity, I don't see it as a paralyzing thing. And I feel like right now with AI, a lot of people feel that like creative block coming up. I don't know, it seems like more popular now. And also, I really do believe that we all have the ability to tap into being our own artist. So everybody is an artist. And I think it's funny because a lot of people are out there saying like, oh, I'm not creative. But we are all creative because creativity is just really making decisions. And with every decision that we make, we're like curating our lives. Like everything in your room you chose, everything you're wearing you chose in a way. And you know, like really just taking ownership of that, building a relationship with your creativity can really help you feel grounded in that, to where you know you don't feel like AI is like a competition, but like a collaborator and stuff like that.
Well, I would love to explore that some more. We have half of the people to get through, so I'm going to put a pin in that and go to Joanne. Thanks for sharing stuff. Joanne, who's your ideal client?
Hi, my name is John Ann.
John Ann. Sorry, I'm saying it
like the
wrong.
boy's name. Oh, that's okay. No one gets it right. So I named my client Natural Natalie. And basically it could be male or female, 40 plus in age, doesn't matter if they're married or single. 9 times out of 10, the children are grown. Location, Cotuit, Osterville, Mashpee. There are some other affluent towns here on Cape Cod, and I just didn't have enough time to write them in. Income level is disposable, 80K plus.
And what's their number one burning problem?
Either loss of hair volume, loss of hair, some type of scar victim, surgery or birth defect. Tired of applying cosmetics, lipstick, eyeliner, eyebrow pencil, whatever it might be. What were some of the other questions?
Well, and how are these people finding you now?
I am doing a lot of promoting, going around to businesses, going into doctors' offices, trying to get through the gatekeeper to try to set up a consultation, either with Zoom. I do have a small client base. I ask them for a referral, and then I give them, actually financially, I give them $100 if they choose to, if the client comes in and actually that referral comes in and actually has a procedure done.
Interesting.
Then
I would love for you to come back next month, John Ann.
I think I am going to.
And let's talk about referral fees, because that's something that's actually pretty interesting and controversial, is like, can you get referral partners to do the referrals? Is it in some businesses, it's not ethical and not permitted, and some it is. So it'll be really interesting to talk about. But it sounds to me like you're really pretty focused. You know who
Yeah.
the person is. That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank
Okay,
you. Thank you.
Carol, interior design. Who's your ideal client? What's her name?
Oh, well, I called her Sophisticated Sandy, but over the years, I've had many that have been perfect and many that haven't been. My goal is to streamline it to only work with the
What
clients that
made
really
people
fit.
imperfect? They looked like sophisticated Sophies, but they weren't.
I think in a nutshell, they compete with the person they hired. They don't appreciate that if you hire a consultant, listen to them. Of course, now I've been in business so long, I really do know what I'm telling them. And it's just maddening that everybody feels they're their own creative when they
Do you
really don't
think
know.
there are key questions that you could be asking in an initial interview that will sift through who are going to be easy to work with and who are not?
Probably, yes, probably. That's something I don't necessarily do because it's their home and it's personal. So you're sort of in the middle of it when you realize they might be getting a divorce or something like that. So it's a little bit tricky, but yes, I'm sure I could be doing a better editing job.
Yes, you sure don't want to work with those people who then are competing with you later. It's like, why did you hire me then?
And why aren't you listening to what I'm saying? And how can I make you be excited about listening to me in the process? I
Yeah.
like what you said about get into their heads. So I probably at some point don't get into their heads because then I get annoyed. So
Well, what can anyone think of what would be a good question that Carol could ask in an informational, a sales conversation or an interview to gauge how open people are to working with her and suggestions?
I don't know that question, but I can relate to that. When I do logo design, it's the same thing. It's like, why don't you listen to me? You're asking me to do it. So I need to that question as well.
I think it's the big question, how to get respected once you've been hired. Yeah.
I think asking a lot of questions about what their style is and like what it is that matters to them about their home.
Well, if they already have a style, why did they hire me?
Yeah, sometimes it's just what somebody likes, though. It's not that they've established their style, but are they vintage? Are they drawn to modern? Are they drawn, like, what is a key thing that they have in their house? They maybe don't have a style and they can't put it together, but a lot of people, like, they know that they're drawn to, like, okay, mid-century modern or vintage, but they just don't know how to put the pieces together.
I would agree with that. I think everyone has a style. You need to pull it out of them and help them put it together.
I'm not sure it's about the style. I think this is more of a personality thing and a coachability thing. Like, they're hiring you, but do they really want your advice?
First of all, everybody doesn't have a style. Some people really are oblivious. And I think for instance, a couple I'm working with now, the husband has a definite look and the wife keeps fighting him on it. And I feel, I have to apologize. I'm not taking sides constantly. And they came referred from very good clients. They just bought a $5 million co-op. They should be able to do the right thing with it.
All right, Carol, I think there's something here about figuring out what are some good probing questions that can uncover some of those personality and working together questions to help you screen people out. I don't mean to give you short shrift, but we're a little bit short on time. Sabrina, do you want to share?
Yes. I'm trying to figure out how to share this picture. I actually chose somebody who is an actual client. Because I caught on to your point about the ideal client becomes an evangelist. And so she's probably my biggest salesperson just by default. But I call her Susie Social. She is female or identifies with being female. Susie Social in particular happens to be 50, and so probably somewhere between
Remind
35
us,
and
remind us
55.
what you sell to Susie.
Chartered bus tours to estate wineries.
Okay, thank you.
Um, married or single, even though I haven't done a couples tour.
But I bet she has a big social circle.
Yes, and so when you put the question down about what they are into doing, they love hanging with their friends and finding new experiences. So I've made sure that so people may have gone to the winery before, but I make sure that it's a unique experience when they go with me. The comment about having a disposable income based out of Pittsburgh, definitely something they do for personal. And I think people are looking for things that are socially safe, and on the higher end, like there are tons of wineries here in the Pittsburgh area, but I've curated the collection of wineries.
And Susie wants that peace of mind to know if she's bringing her friends, you've done a great job of creating that experience.
Right. And then she always socializes in a group. And so I end up with groups of girlfriends, and even people who buy a ticket end up saying, do you have any more tickets? Because I have a friend who wants to come along.
That's great. You've already figured this out, Sabrina. You could teach the class. Jasmine, tell us about your business and who your ideal client is.
Okay, so I kind of struggle with this because I'll tell you. So my business is called Babysitting Logistics. We're a babysitting concierge service for business professionals. I get kind of confused with this because I'll have nonprofits that contact us to utilize the service, but then the in-home. But for the in-home client, I named her Daisy. She's childbearing age, so I put between 25 to 44. She tends to be married. They usually have between 1 to 3 children. They're located in the suburban communities. Our biggest client base is South Hills. They have a 6-figure income for leisure. It just seems like they have busy lifestyles. I also put business owners. A lot of the times the mom tends to be a stay-at-home mom. The dad is traveling a lot. It's a personal decision. And they're looking for someone who's nurturing, trustworthy, engaging, and reliable to care for their children.
So their burning problem is it emergency childcare or is it permanent childcare?
So that's the thing we provide childcare for all occasions. So this was for my reoccurring client.
Well, it sounds like you figured it out. It sounds great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. All right,
Thank
Jamie
you.
Lynn.
Hello. So this is my first time here at one of the events. Attended a live event last night. So I work with sublimation printing and laser engraving. And I've actually kind of known my ideal client for a while. So her name's Jennifer. She's a mom. More of like the Gen Xer age group. Female, of course, income level 50 to 60,000. So I have.
What are you engraving for her?
I engrave pretty much anything. I can do slate, mirrors, glass, wood, leather products, all different kinds of things. So I have an Etsy shop, I have a website, and I also have a TikTok shop. So I have two really like my locations. My Etsy is very south, like I get a lot of southern, like people from Texas that purchase, but like my TikTok shop's more East Coast. So
are they buying different products from one and the other?
No, not really. So the hobbies and interests are like family time, hanging out with friends, the sarcasm, travel. I have like, how would your target customer describe themselves? Like sassy, sarcastic, down to earth.
What's the problem you're solving for them, Jamie?
So a lot of women, like, because of course mine's a woman, they have that fear of like doing something for themselves, because they're busy, like a busy mom, or their kids are in high school or going to college and they're still a busy mom, but they still don't have have that fear of like actually doing something for themselves. So I do a lot of shirts and tumblers and things like that, so they that way they can express themselves with the products that I offer. I would say they can go from homeless to fabulous in 5 minutes.
Are you selling like, a group of things for a wedding shower? Or are you selling one-offs?
I haven't done anything for wedding showers, no.
Right, interesting. All right, Mari, you're up last. Are you available to tell us?
Hi, it's Mary Robinson. And can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not very good with technology, so I have a quilting business. It's a startup, and I want to offer pre-cut pillow kits to new sewers, new quilters. It's the idea of being able to get a kit that includes the pattern and everything you need that's pre-cut, pre-measured, so you don't have to do any of that. You can quickly sew together a unique, creative pillow and have a new home decor.
That sounds like a very good target in terms of being able to really talk to newbies who are new crafters or looking for something to help them in their first project in this. So sounds like you really thought it out.
Well, I have, but my problem is I don't know how to get to my market. I don't know how to establish a link. I have a website and I don't know how to establish the idea out there to capture the market. That I'm stuck.
Yeah. Mary, oh my goodness, you are like the ideal person to go last, because this is really part one of a 2-part series. Part one is who's your ideal client. Number 2 is how to attract a steady stream of ideal clients. And we're doing that in April. If you don't know who you're talking to, you can't go find more of them, which is why I put it this way. So I would love to have you take that worksheet, all of you, take the worksheet and work on it. Carol, think about what those key questions are, because what you want to do is turn it around and figure out how to attract those people with provocative questions and messages in your marketing, in your SEO, which James had that great link and we'll reshare it in the recording. Because what you want to do is make sure your message is right and your media is right to find those people. So Ellie, we're going to find you more bridal parties where they're going to come and rent the place and they're going to all get an etched mirror as their souvenir. And we're going to help everyone think that through, as well as whoever else joins us for that April event. So I have already taken up 11 more minutes than I was asked for. So thank you all for joining us. I hope this was helpful. I'll send you the recording, the worksheet, and the link for registering for next month. And for those of you who've never experienced Entrepreneurs Forever, we are so glad that you found us. For our old members, thanks for coming. And hopefully we'll see y'all next month.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.